life about this one. This is real good. On August 7th, 2026, which was last Friday, this was after our meeting. Our meeting was last Wednesday. I don't know if you remember, we were talking about a little bit about Islam and what Muslims believe, the Islamic eschatology, and perhaps, I believe it was mentioned in the first Bible study that the religion of Islam believes that Jesus is returning, right? There in the last days. Which is very interesting because they deny that Jesus is the Son of God. They consider him a prophet of some sort, but they believe that Jesus will return in the last days. But that's not the only thing they believe. They believe that 3 other persons are going to rise in the last days, and we're going to learn about that. We might learn about that today, but what happened on Friday, I titled this a very dangerous alliance has formed. Okay, now that's a title I gave here on when I saved this on my tablet here. A very dangerous alliance has formed in the Middle East. That alliance is Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. Okay, these 3 Muslim or Islamic states or Muslim countries have joined forces, and they have signed an agreement called the Mecca Joint Defence Agreement. Does that sound familiar for those that heard about this news? The Mecca Joint Defence Agreement on August 7, 2026. A trilateral defense pact was sealed in Mecca, so the actual meeting place where these 3 rulers. So if you don't know, Saudi Arabia has a crown prince, Turkey has a president, and Pakistan, the representative that was there was the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Now, do you remember what modern day or what Turkey, according to the Bible, what they used to be called before? So now it's called Turkey, but what was it before? And we studied this at the beginning, Revelation chapter 2 and 3.
Was it Babylon or Persia?
No.
I know this though.
What is Turkey?
I always forget.
Remember Revelation chapter 2 and 3 are the 7 letters to the 7 churches that are where? In
Minor.
Asia Minor.
Asia Minor. Okay?
I knew it.
So Turkey is Asia Minor,
I wanted to say minor.
but it's the modern day now is called Turkey. So what is Iran in the Bible?
Babylon? Well, it's
No.
Iraq.
No.
No, it's Persia.
Iran is Persia. Iraq is Babylon. The southern part of Iraq is Babylon. Iran is Persia. Turkey is Asia Minor. All right. And then you got Israel. Israel's Israel, the land of the Palestines or the Philistines. If you didn't know, Palestine or Palestina is the land of the Philistines. Okay, so the president of Turkey, the prime minister of Pakistan, and the crown prince of Saudi Arabia all came together in Mecca. What's important about Saudi Arabia? It has the two most holiest temples of Islam, of the religion of Islam, and everyone has heard of Mecca and the pilgrimage and how everyone goes to Mecca, and so the trilateral defense pact was sealed in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Turkish president, and his name is hard to pronounce, but Erdogan is his last name, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Minister Shahbaz Sharif. Okay? The Mutual Defense Clause stipulates that an armed attack against any of these 3 countries that I just mentioned, any attack on any one of them, the 3 that signed nations, is considered an attack against all of them. So if you attack Saudi Arabia, you're attacking Turkey and Pakistan. If you attack Turkey, you're attacking Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. If you attack Pakistan, you're attacking Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Basically, it's a very dangerous alliance. Why is it a dangerous alliance? I'll tell you why in a few minutes.
Where does
So
Ukraine fit in with
is
that?
Iran included in there too?
Iran is not included in that.
Oh, okay, so
And
that's
Ukraine
why
isn't
Trump
at all
got,
either?
it was Trump's idea, right? Kind of to help out with
No,
this war, that's what I
No.
got.
According to my studies, in the
No.
last 24 hours, Trump doesn't have anything to do with this. Trump is focusing on a deal with Iran, and that's not going so well.
Yeah, so
And
he
he
was
was
gonna
speaking
get this
today on that.
agreement to help, so they would help Iran come to an agreement, that's what I understand.
Trump's agreement is the Abraham Accords.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Abraham Accords is a coalition or an alliance of Saudi Arabian countries such as Morocco, I think Lebanon, the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia is supposed to be a part of that Abraham Accords, which I'm not even sure. I forgot to look up if they ever joined the Abraham Accords, and some other countries. Okay, but the Abraham Accords has nothing to do with it. This is a deal that just happened on Friday with these three leaders, these three rulers, and so a few things I want to mention. The pact is intended to provide a collective deterrence against any act of aggression by any stipulation that an armed attack against any of these three would be regarded as an attack on all of these three partners. Okay, well, something interesting, some important facts about this. Who is enemies with Pakistan? Does anyone know? If you don't know, just I'll tell you.
Israel.
Okay, so here's the common thread with all three of them. They're all enemies of Israel.
Exactly.
And almost every Arab country is an enemy of Israel, right?
Yes.
So that's something that they all have in common. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan hate Israel, and Israel is the enemy. But that's for everyone.
Isn't India and Pakistan kind of against each other?
Yes, India and Pakistan were having a lot of problems at the beginning of this year, matter of fact, and I think Trump had to get involved in that. But India and Pakistan were getting ready to have a war.
Pakistan used to be part of India, though, at one
Yeah,
point.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Another thing they all have in common, they're all Muslim, or they all practice Islam.
Mhm.
But what's in common with these three countries is not just that they practice the Islamic religion, they're all Sunni Muslims. Okay? Now, does anyone know what the difference is between a Sunni Muslim and a Shiite Muslim?
No.
Okay. So the Sunni Muslim, the Shiites, the Muslims are divided within themselves, and they fight within themselves. And the biggest division with the Shiites and the Sunnis is that when Muhammad died, the Sunnis believed that they could vote and they could have a decision on who the successor was. The Shiites believed that it had to be a relative. The successor had to be a relative. That is one of the biggest divisions among them. So these three countries are Sunni Muslims, okay? Shiite Muslims are, for example, Iran, Iraq, and a few others. I've got a list here, and it's interesting because Iran and Iraq are Shiite Muslims, and they fought for a decade. They fought a war for a decade. They were at war. So they didn't even get along, and they were both Shiite Muslims. But the Shiite Muslims believe that a messianic person is coming called the Mahdi, if I pronounced it right. And he is the 12th Imam. What is an Imam? Imam is a Muslim, like a Muslim priest, like a Muslim religious leader, right? So like a pastor, like a priest, like a spiritual, like a guru for that village. So that an Imam is a religious Muslim priest but they believe that what did I say? Mahdi, they believe that he's going to come in the end times. They believe he came in the 9th century and he was hidden from humanity, and he's in a place of hiding, and he's going to come back in the end times as the 12th Imam. He's the 12th Imam, and he's going to come back to bring justice and to bring vengeance and to bring all the Islamic countries, Arab nations together, one big army, one big global system. So you and I both know what that means, right? All right. They also believe that Jesus Christ is going to come at the end of the age, in the end times. So, and they believe in someone called the Dajjal, I believe is how you pronounce it. And I have to keep studying this to pronounce the names right. But the Dajjal is a false Messiah is going to rise, and Mahdi is going to overcome him in the end of the age in their eschatology.
Can you spell Mahi and Dajjal or whatever you're saying there? Can you spell it out?
Can I spell it?
Yeah.
All right. Mahdi, Mahdi. He's the 12th and final Imam. And this is according to the Shiite Muslims, okay? They believe that he's going to come back and he's going to rule the nations.
M-H what?
M-A-H-D-I.
Mahdi?
Mahdi. Often referred to the Mahdi, the guided one. It means the guided one.
What's the other
Mahdi.
one?
He's the hidden Imam. The Shiite Muslim believes he's in the world and he's in hiding. The other one that I mentioned was Al-Misa, which means a Messiah, Ad-Dajjal. And that is spelled, Dajjal is spelled D-A-J-J-A-L. So they believe that there's going to be this false Messiah, this false prophet who's going to deceive people, and they believe that their Mahdi is going to overcome them. But they also believe that Jesus is going to return at the end of the age. So we who study the Bible, eschatology, and we understand that false Messiah, the Dajjal, whatever, that's the false prophet, and we believe that Mahdi could be possibly the Antichrist because he's going to defeat that Messiah, that false prophet, and at the end of all this, the real Jesus is going to return. So it kind of lines up with our eschatology.
Yes.
The only thing is that the Muslims don't believe that the Mahdi is the Antichrist, but he's a man who's going to have charisma. He is going to bring justice. He is going to bring peace, and he's going to bring unity for all the Arab nations. And he's going to destroy Israel. They also believe that he is going to reign for 7 years. Isn't that something? The Mahdi is going to reign. According to Islamic eschatology, the Mahdi is going to reign or rule for 7 years.
I looked up the words that you were spelling, and under say it again,
Mahdi or the
Dajjal?
Anyway, it says
Dajjal.
over there the false Messiah or a lying deceiver. But further down it says that that it's prophesied by them that they will appear before the day of judgment, and he will claim to be a god or a prophet to deceive humanity through trials and appearance. But this is an interesting thing. A distinct feature is described in Hadith as blind or defective in his right eye, resembling a floating grape. That's what it says. And that the marks that that you will have to have the Arabic letter that it will you'll have an Arabic letter inscribed on his. He will have Arabic letter inscribed on his forehead.
Interesting.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
already are having a lot of Mahdis right now in New York and in Michigan. There's tons of Mahdis coming from all over, right? Already in the US.
There's imams, which are Muslim priests.
All that is
Imams,
very
But
yes.
interesting.
the Mahdi is one who they believe the Shiites believe he is hidden from the world and he will return in the last days. And you and I both know what that sounds like. It sounds like the Antichrist. So remember in my teachings in the last few weeks, I've been teaching you that I believe that the Antichrist is going to be Muslim. I believe he's a Gentile. I believe he's
That's
Muslim.
what they believe.
Yeah.
But I also I believe that
That's
the false
crazy.
prophet, the false Messiah,
Yes.
he is Jew. He has to be Jew, because the Jews won't receive anyone who's not a
Go
Jew.
down, it's very
So the false Messiah will rise in the as we've been studying eschatology in the book of Revelation. When we study Revelation chapter 13, there's there's the beast and there's the false prophet. So the false prophet and the beast are going to be working hand in hand. So remember the
false prophet and the beast are two different
entities.
Then read that. Now that makes sense what that says.
Well, what
And
we-
the false
Starting-
prophet or whatever will have 40 days to be able to.
you want to start from the mark?
Well, but it's very interesting what it says there.
Yeah, whatever. The Arabic letters kafara will be inscribed on his forehead, readable by every literate and illiterate believer. He is said to travel the entire earth rapidly, visiting every corner except the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, which will be protected by the angels. Will have the illusion of control, gifted with temporary, divinely permitted trials that mimic divine power, such as bringing forth rain, making crops grow, and making barren land flourish. Mirage of life and death, prophesied to have the ability to seemingly revive the dead or cut a person in two and bring them back to life to test human faith. Duration, he will reign on earth. His reign on earth will last for 40 days, but the length of these days will be abnormal. The first day lasting like a year, the second like a month, and the third like a week. Ultimate defeat, the end of his reign, he will be confronted and slain by Jesus, Isa, who returns to earth near the white minaret in Damascus, leading to the restoration of faith and order.
So the Muslims call Jesus Isa.
Oh, okay.
That's the return. They believe that Jesus is returning. So
Wow.
again, if you think about it, it kind of lines up with our eschatology. They just don't
warped.
understand that the Mahdi, we consider the Mahdi the Antichrist. We consider that false prophet or that false Messiah that's going to rise, is going to be overcome by the Mahdi. We consider him a false prophet for the Jews, which is a false Messiah for the Jews. And we're all on the same page. The Shiites, the Sunnis, and the Christians are all on the same page. We believe Jesus is going to return at the end of the age. So they got that. They got that right. They got that there's a false Messiah that's going to rise. They got a Mahdi that's going to rise, and they also got Jesus that's going to return. Now the Mahdi is arise and return. So the Sunnis believe he is returning, whereas the Sunnis believe he's rising. Like there's going to be this leader, this Mahdi, but the Shiites believe he's returning because he's here. He's in hiding. All right.
What do they think Jesus' purpose in coming back is? His role.
He's coming back to defeat like all the bad people. It's crazy. Like it's like they deny him, but they're actually acknowledging that he's returning.
It's like they want to include him in the story so they could at least have some sort of credibility when Jesus does return and starts, doing what he's gonna do.
Now here's some important facts about these three countries. Okay, Saudi Arabia has the financing, they have the wealth, they're rich, and they also have manpower. But they don't have as much manpower as Turkey and Pakistan. So whereas Turkey may have over 500,000 soldiers, Saudi Arabia only has half of that, 250,000, 300,000. All right. But Saudi Arabia has the religious aspect. They have Mecca, they have Medina or Medina. They have the religion, Islam, right, as a center, a central place for religious worship for the Islamic religion, Mecca. So they have the financing and the manpower. Turkey has the military capability, and they have manpower. And so Turkey, if you didn't know this, they're a part of NATO, and they're the largest military in NATO. All right, and Pakistan, now Turkey does not have any nuclear weapons, but guess what? Pakistan has nuclear weapons, and they have manpower. All right, Pakistan has over 170 warheads, nuclear weapons, and they have manpower. All right, so we know they all have something in common. They're all Islamic or Muslims, but they're Sunnis. All three of these are Sunnis. They're all enemy of Israel. And so I'm going to read a little bit about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has a large and heavily funded military, ranking among the top 15 military powers globally. It maintains roughly 250 to 280 active duty military personnel, including an army component of around 75,000, alongside a powerful separate National Guard and massive defense spending around 83 billion. All right? So they have the financing. Now, Pakistan has the manpower, and Pakistan has nuclear weapons, as estimated to possess an arsenal of approximately 170 warheads. It is one of the 9 sovereign nations globally known to possess a nuclear program. All right? Pakistan has one of the largest standing armed forces in the world, ranking among the top 10 globally. The country maintains approximately 650 to 660,000 active duty members. Military personnel, with the army making up the largest share of roughly 560 active duty soldiers. So they have manpower. They don't have the high technology, the sophisticated weapons like Turkey does, but they have the manpower and they have the nuclear bombs, the nuclear program that Turkey does not have. So you see how one compensates for the other. To all three of them together is a dangerous alliance for America and for Israel. Why do I say that? Because since October 7th, since the war started in the Gaza Strip with Israel and the Palestinians, Erdogan, the president of Turkey, has been threatening that he's going to invade Israel. And if that doesn't make your hair stand, I don't know what's wrong with you. He has promised. Huh?
How would you know about hair standing?
Hey, look at my arms.
Oh, okay.
He has been threatening Erdogan, the president of Turkey, Asia Minor. He has been threatening Israel for the last couple of years that if Israel does not stop the genocide in the Gaza Strip, that he is going to intervene and he is going to invade Israel. He hates Israel. He wants to invade Israel, and he wants to annihilate Israel. That's the president of Turkey, okay?
And he doesn't like the U.S. either.
He doesn't like the U.S. either. And I have about 5 articles saved on my tablet of him with his threats. Now, so remember that as we study Daniel, as we study Revelation, it says, be aware of the kings of the east and the kings of the north. The king of the north is Asia Minor, is the president, whoever the president is of Turkey. Also, the king of the north is believed to be Russia. So remember, Russia is in alliance with Iran.
Yeah.
All right. The kings of the east, Pakistan, China, all those countries that hate Israel and are communist countries or dictatorships or hate America. Okay. Also, after Friday, the very next day, Let me find what he said. Let me see if I find it here. The Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, who is the Prime Minister of Pakistan, after he signed on Friday, on Saturday made a statement and said Israel is a threat. So at first they're joining forces. They're talking about the enemy of Saudi Arabia. Do you know who it is? Yemen. When Iran started going crazy, shooting missiles and rockets and drones, they shot at Saudi Arabia. They shot at Iraq. They shot at Israel. They shot at Kuwait, right?
Yeah.
But Yemen started shooting at Saudi Arabia. So Yemen and Saudi Arabia are not in good terms right now. Pakistan and India are not in good terms right now. Turkey and Israel are not in good terms, right? And you know, and I know that America and Iran are not in good terms, and Trump is trying to push for this deal, and it just doesn't happen. So much resistance, right? And you know that Russia backs up Iran.
Yep.
And you and I both know that Iran is at war with Ukraine, right? And Ukraine doesn't get along with Russia. I meant Russia. If I said Iran, I meant Russia. Okay. So, let me see if I find it. The Prime Minister recently joined Turkey and Saudi Arabia in signing the agreement. It's called the Mecca Joint Defence Pact, while Pakistan's Defense Minister Kawal Asif subsequently called for a unity military front against Israel. So the next day, he goes and says, we need to create an Arab Muslim coalition, an army of Arab nations and Muslims to defend against Israel because Israel is a threat. So these three countries are now trying to influence the other Arab nations and other countries to join forces against Israel. All right? I have a lot of information, but I think I'm going to end it there. But that is what happened on Friday. There's so much good information that I have here, but it's too much. But one of the main things I wanted you to see is that Saudi Arabia has the financing, the religious aspect of everything. It's the center of Muslim worship, Mecca, and Turkey has the military capability. I do want to read this about Turkey. Listen to this. Turkey is widely ranked as having the most powerful overall military capability in the region due to its advanced technology through NATO, their interaction with NATO because they're a part of NATO, and robust domestic defense industry. Turkey has one of the largest and most powerful militaries in the world. It ranks as the second largest. Turkey has the second largest standing military in NATO after America, with roughly 350 to 480 active duty personnel, hundreds of thousands of reservists, and they're the top 10 global military ranking in the world, strength. So think about it. Saudi